We engage in insightful discussions with local and international business leaders, economists, entrepreneurs, and other professionals. Join Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live this and every Saturday from 2 to 3:30 p.m. for the program Business Talk. Gain valuable insights into the world of business as we profile successful Liberian entrepreneurs in and out of Liberia as they provide business strategies, entrepreneurship, and financial planning. Business Talk, your one stop shop in the world of business. It's on Love FM 105.1 every Saturdays, 2 to 3:30 p.m. Don't miss out.
Yes, indeed, we're here again this lovely afternoon to give you what is needed to be given as it relates to strategies and those formulas that you need to have a successful business, holding all factor constant, knowing that indeed it is always good to have the knowledge before venturing into some arts or into a terrain. People say in our simple Liberian way, the stranger who acts never misses the road. So some of you joined the business arena without the basic knowledge. You've been struggling to get yourself up to the tax to have a successful business, but it has been so difficult for you. Some of you've been successful in some areas of the business, but quite frankly, it has not been what it should be. But business talk over the period of time have come out to enlighten your minds, give you the points that are needed so that you can have an informed posture to make your business a success, not just from a hand to mouth business, but to widen your coverage and expand your earnings. Without much ado, my name is Rufus Divine Cannon. I'm here, as always, Mr. Alkin and Al Phillips. He's in the US. Alva Topa is in the US. He's not going to be with us today on the show due to some tech schedules. But however, the words are out there with all of us that we have a successful show as always. So let me say good afternoon to you, Mr. Phillips. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. From my side of the world, good afternoon to you. And it's morning over here. It's just 5 minutes after 9 in the morning. Seasons are changing. The seasons are changing. It's fall, so it's a nice, cool morning. It's not cold, but I had to put on my hoodie or my sweats to go walking this morning. But it's a great day. It's been a great week, outstanding week. Ava is not with us today. He's traveled down to Tanzania to a wedding for a dear friend of ours. Her daughter Ifra McGowan is getting married in Tanzania, and they're actually at the wedding event right now because of the time difference. So he's on that side and doing his thing with the rest of the folks on that side. So today is only Rufus and I, and he's doing the piloting. I'm doing the co-piloting. So to everyone out there, please share the show. Share it on your Facebook page. Share it wherever you can. Let more people join the show. Today, we want to kind of go over a couple of things, something close to like a review over what we've been talking about over the past weeks and months. And then what we'll do is we'll open the phone lines. Today, let's have a conversation. You got my point, Rufus? Let's have a conversation. Sometimes when you're talking and talking and talking and talking and people don't get a chance to weigh in, they tend to tune out. So today, what I want to do is talk a little bit, review, hit a few points, and bring everybody back into remembrance on a couple of things. And then what we do is just let people call in from wherever you are. I posted this thing on my Facebook page. I posted it also on my LinkedIn page. So people may call from Nigeria. You don't know where they will call from, but we're talking about business. It's all about business, no politics. This is the no politics zone. We just want to talk about small, medium-sized, large, Liberian businesses. That's our setting in Liberia. But the principles, the concepts, the teachings, they're applicable to wherever you are, whether it's in the U.S. or wherever you are. Those concepts are indeed applicable once it's all about business. It's all about being an entrepreneur. How do you achieve your goal? How do you grow your business? How do you expand? How do you move to the next level? That's what we're trying to teach. That's what we're trying to educate our listeners all about. So what the first thing we want to do, let everybody, please, if you're listening, please share the show. Share it, share the link, share the show, put it in your Facebook page, tag as many people as you can, put in there at followers, at highlights, do whatever you can. Let's get more people to chime in, listen in. Those who are rebroadcasting or relaying the show in Grand Jide, in Kakata, wherever, thank you so much to everyone who's trying to spread the message of business talk. So Rufus, what do you want to talk about today? What do you want to talk about today? Do you want to go over a couple of points on review? We've been, over the past week, we've been talking about the Liberian, the different sectors of the Liberian economy as it relates to Liberianization. That's been a very interesting topic. We've had a lot of people chiming in and talking about that, contributing on that as well. So what do you think? How do you think about it? How do you feel about it? How do you think it's been going so far?
Well, from the reception we've been getting as it relates to responses from those who listen to the show and have actually reached out to some of us, not knowing we have people who are silent listeners, silent followers. They've been following, and like we said, behind closed door, and I know there are some big hands that are following and have extended congratulations to us and wish that we continue on this path. But more interestingly, some of the folks also reach out to me relative to what we started on as it relates to our quiz and all those stuff, wherein people were being compensated for their followings. And say, man, what happened to us? We're not getting our questions and all those stuff that Nick News and also Nick News, that's Aloysius. He also reached out to me, the guy on the GSA role. He said, my man, what's up? What's up with you people? We're not getting our quizzes again. It was really helping us at least keep us studying on what you people provide to us, and we put into practice these things. They are actually helping us. So those are some basic things that we thought of, and I thought to bring to your attention. Though we've had our side conversation regarding the big hands that are following silently. But it's interesting. Liberians who they need to put their minds. Like I had a conversation with one of those big hands. Said Liberians, we need to think positive. When we continue to dwell on the negative, and the reality is there. Amidst these challenges, we know there are prospects and gains. But in Liberia, we focus on the negatives. But there are more good things that are happening. Why are Liberians not getting themselves involved into propagating those positive things? Why are Liberians not getting to highlight and build the minds of the younger ones, even the middle ages, to come to think about things that would develop their minds and make them responsible citizens? So it was good having a conversation with one of those big hands, and I saw it very, very prudent that we extend it here so that we have the time to encourage our friends who always dwell on this politics. And this show have been so consistent since we came in, have been so consistent. Vol of politics, we reach out to the real issues, opening the minds of Liberians on business. So far, this is where we are.
So today we're going to have a quiz. So we've covered a lot of material. As you know, sometimes when you're in college, vocational training school, whatever it is, you're in school, some professors like to give a pop quiz every day, a pop quiz every day for 5 points. And then you add up all your pop quizzes, and then those pop quizzes can kind of help you at the end of the semester to add up and stuff like that. Some professors like to give a pop quiz every week. Some professors like to give a pop quiz maybe once a month, or some professors don't even give pop quizzes. So I think the pop quiz was something to kind of stimulate everybody, to get everybody involved into the whole idea of business talk. So today, what I'm going to do is we're going to do the pop quiz today. We're going to do a pop quiz today. And what I'm going to do is we'll put the pop quiz towards the ending of the show, so we don't take up a lot of time in the show. So you might just want to listen very carefully and go back. If you took for granted all of the notes and the discussions we were talking about over the past weeks and maybe over a month, then this is where we'll separate the sheep from the goats, right? So those who have taken, say, well, these people have changed and they're not doing any more pop quiz. Well, unfortunately, we're going to have a pop quiz today. We're going to have a pop quiz today. So that is going to be important. But anyway, let's go into talking about some stuff. You mentioned something very important. That you had a conversation with one of the silent listeners who called you and talked to you about the show, the positive impact about the show, and all of those good things. And their concern was, or what they highlighted to you, was the fact that Liberians don't talk positive. We spend more time on negative things. We spend more time, we put more time. We tend to focus on the negatives more than focusing on the positives. And that is indeed true. And I think the reason why that is in our society, with so many things happening on a daily basis, I go back to my number one topic, which is light, right? Which is electricity. You cannot expect positive things to happen in the darkness. That is one of the challenges. That is one of the challenges of spending so much time in the darkness. Nothing positive happens in the darkness. That's why I changed my backdrop today to electricity. I put the power substation behind me to kind of project the image that electricity. And this is where we find ourselves in this country. We're challenged from Maryland County all the way to Cape Mount, from Montserrado to the north in Lofa, and all the way up in Nimba County. We're challenged about electricity. And this darkness challenges the minds of our people. It challenges the mind even of our leaders. It challenges the minds of people at every level in our society. It challenges the minds of all people in all aspects of the economy. One of the most important part about business, being an entrepreneur, being a businessman, businesswoman, or business person, is, we talked about it some time back. We talked about the importance of the importance of innovation, creativity. Creativity does not take place in the dark. Creativity takes place in the light. Innovation does not take place in the dark. Innovation takes place in the light. You look at every industrialized nation today. You look at Singapore. You look at Malaysia. You look at the Far Eastern countries. You look at China. You look at all of those countries that 30, 40 years ago were so impoverished and so tremendously underdeveloped. You look and when you analyze, you strategize, you do all your research, you come to realize that once that spark of energy, electricity was introduced into that economy, into that society, all of a sudden, everything took off. Everything took off. And this is the reason why when people spend and dwell, so much time in the darkness, their ability to create, their ability to innovate, their ability to effectively communicate, to effectively associate, connect with each other, to drive positive things, it becomes significantly degraded and diminished. And this is where we find ourselves. This is where we're challenged to where we as a nation, we've lost that ability. We've lost it. We've lost that ability to engage in a very positive way because the light is simply not there. The light is simply not there in abundance. As we stand as a people, with all of the great things, the natural resources that we have in our country, from iron ore to bauxite to timber, the agricultural sector, we are an agronomy economy. With all of these opportunities, gold, you name it, Liberia has it. What has it done for us? And that's where we find ourselves challenged. So many times people say the country is cursed, the country is this. No, light, electricity is so fundamental. And I think sometimes when something is so fundamental, something is so basic, and when something is so simple, what happens? The people, the leadership, they tend to overlook it. They tend to overlook it because it's so simple. It is so simple. It is so obvious, and so as a result, we tend to overlook those things that are right before us and start looking for all of the most complicated things. And as an engineer, one of the things that we do, we focus on is that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. You don't need to have to go all the way around. No, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. What does that mean? Simplicity. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. And I think that's why we're challenged as a people to, it's hard for us to talk about positive things because we're dwelling so long in the darkness. What can you do? And that's why, moving to the next topic that ties into it is the diaspora Liberians play a very important role in creating, stimulating the engagement, because we are exposed to so much light that, all of our wealth, our earnings, our careers, everything that we do is so dependent on energy, electricity in these developed countries that we now become we must see ourselves. I don't want to use the word as saviors, but we must see ourselves as the transformational leaders to engage with our, loved ones, brothers, sisters, business partners in Liberia and draw them out of that darkness into light. You get my point? Because when we bring ideas, our ideas are filled with light. So when we bring those ideas to people who have been in the darkness, that's when the explosion takes place. And the guy finally says, oh, now I can see it. Now I understand it. And all of a sudden, the East meets the West. And all of a sudden, that person's energy and this other person's finance, their money, their funding, and their ideas, all of a sudden, they're coming together, then creates the transformational change on the economic side that ultimately leads to, quote unquote, the political change. And this is what we have to do. This is what we have to do. So as business people, we business people, entrepreneurs, we have to, the transformation in our economy cannot come from government. Government only creates the conditions. That's what we need to understand. And until we can rise to that level, I think it would be challenging for us. It would be a challenge for us to get over this hurdle, get over this mountain, get over this hill, or climb out of this valley, and get to the level, to the field where prosperity, victory, triumph, and prosperity is for this country, for this nation, for these people. So that's what this is what I believe. This is what I believe, and I feel so strongly about it. I feel so passionate about it, and and that's what motivates me. What motivates me is that I believe that we are a people that we can that I think we're up to the challenge. I strongly believe that we are indeed up to the challenge to making this change. I think we can do it. I really believe we can. We have everything possible. Energy is coming, even though it's slow, but I believe that the changes that will come eventually over the next 45, 60 to 90 days towards the ending of this year, the beginning of the new year, I firmly believe the sector is going to change. And I think we've highlighted it enough so that everybody understands that electricity is fundamental. Electricity is foundational. Electricity is the main ingredient to bring about economic growth, prosperity, national development into every aspect of our country. That's what I believe. Yeah.
Certainly, you just struck the nail right on his head. And just to give a side talk on some of the things, we've noticed there are a lot of things happening within our setting as it relates to the business world. The issue of people respecting labor is one of the serious issues folks are faced with in Liberia. Labor, respecting people's labor. Uh, just last week, some folks reached out to me
Mhm.
concerning bad labor practices at some of these major entertainment areas or business areas, for which owned by our own Liberian brothers and sisters. They've complained that we often say customers do have rights. The
Mhm.
customer,
Mhm.
anything the customer have rights. But
Mhm.
we've also failed to understand the universal human rights states where your right ends is where
Mhm.
someone begins.
That's true.
Regardless of the person being at that place as a waiter or waitress, the person do have rights and privileges as well. You there as a customer, you must respect people not because of what they do or where you see them, regardless of your status. You must give that courtesy, not because you went to the place and the person serving you, that means they have become your slave. No, we must show some level of respect. And we did some background analysis. We went to see for ourselves, and we've come to realize that people abuse, most especially our sisters who find themselves working in these institutions, like a waiter or waitress or a tenant. They just talk to them anyhow, just treat them anyhow. And some of these people, not because they find themselves doing that job at the moment, they have their homes. They have they have family depending on them. So you who go to transact business or went to that place to entertain yourself, you must also give them due respect, regardless of them being a waiter or a waitress at that place. So we will come up in our next interaction where we thought to reach out to the management concerning these things. There are a lot of businesses here. Our sisters and brothers have been marginalized, have been disrespected, and it is not something that we should condone. In as much Liberians want to own their own economy, we also need to add value to those people who worked for us.
Very good, very good point. I think you brought up a very important aspect of entrepreneurship. I think most business people, there is a new statement that I've come to understand and come to realize, and it's one of the new statement that I'm projecting now, and let everybody write it down. Economics change the politics. The economics changes the politics, right? The politics does not change the economics. It is the economics that changes the politics. What do I mean? When you have a depressed society, a challenged society where opportunities are very few and jobs are very few to come by, right? Because in a depressed or very challenged economy, in as much as we're getting all of these remittances coming in. But the economy is not creating the jobs. It's not creating the jobs. It's not producing enough, because this thing behind me, electricity, is not, properly and effectively and in a sustainable way generated, transmitted, and distributed, so that businesses and different aspects of businesses, be it for manufacturing, be it to agro-processing, whatever it is, they're not using electricity to produce work, right? Because you need this to produce work so that you can produce goods and services that are sold in the economy. And then those machines that do the work, perform the work, manufacture, are now worked on by people that you pay, and the product that you produce is sold in the marketplace, so that that company makes a profit to then pay the employees, and that's how the cycle continues. So without this thing behind me, what do you have? You have a depressed economy. No. And because of that, what happens is the few people who are able to create the few jobs take it upon themselves, and they acquire what I call the God complex, that they can do, they can say, and they can treat people whatever way they want to treat people and speak to people, because the people who are working for them don't have a choice. So what you have is, you have people living in an economy, living in a country, and most of them are what? They're vulnerable. They're very, very vulnerable. And the most vulnerable people in our economy are what? Are the kids, the children. And then next, the women. And then when people become vulnerable, people become very desperate. And then they start to do all kinds of things that they have no business doing, just to put food on their table, to pay their rent, and put their children to schools. And this is where we find ourselves. So what happens then, the few people who have business, who own businesses, they treat people any kind of way, because the people don't have an option. They speak to people in any kind of degrading, disrespectful, demeaning way, because the people don't have an option. They don't have a choice. And they treat people any sorts of ways. And this is where we find ourselves. And that's why I continue to say, this thing behind me is fundamental. It is the foundation for a thriving, robust, evolving, and transformational society and economy that would create more jobs, so that when those managers, those business owners treat, speak, and demean their employees, the employees can say, you know what, I don't need this. I can go down the street and find me another job, because this thing, electricity, is creating more jobs in the economy. So now I have more choice, and I'm no longer vulnerable, desperate, or impoverished to accept this nonsense from you. I can go somewhere else and find a better job, get a better pay to provide for my family. And then all of a sudden, everybody is aligned, because nobody, in the US, in the industrialized economy, they call employees, they call them talent. Write that down. They call people talent. Nobody wants to lose talent, because talent is what helps your business to grow, to thrive, to expand. That person's know-how, that person's ability, that person's customer service skills is what makes your business grow. That's what makes you to make money, to earn money, so that you will be able to be profitable and compete in the market. So when you lose talent because of your poor, managerial skills, your God complex that makes you believe that because you open up a drinking spot or a hotel, motel, you can treat people any kind of way and treat the customers and speak to the customer and say, well, I don't need your money. And all of a sudden, you check your God complex and you put it aside, because now you have competition in the market because of electricity. You see, so that's why we find ourselves, again, like I've always said, people take this thing for granted, but they don't understand how important it is to the overall well-being of a nation. So the economy changes the politics. The economy changes the way people behave. The economy changes, it moves people from being vulnerable to making people empowered. So when people become empowered, they can now take control of their future, their destiny, and do positive things that ultimately, together, collectively, we move the nation forward, we elevate the nation, we have a better discussion, and we think more positively. So that's why things are the way they are, if I can put it that way. Okay.
You are right, because even ourselves who run radio stations and other businesses, it is so challenging. Businesses are not forthcoming, or customers are not forthcoming. The little micro resources you generate, it goes towards buying of fuel, especially we who run a radio station. A bulk of the earnings go towards that line because you need to keep the institution on. How do you go about that? We have poor electricity services rendered. So, in the absence of electricity from the national government through the LEC,
Mhm.
you have to run your own generator, and it's very cost intensive. So, like what happened to us, due to what happened, we had our generator down last week. We were unable to air the show, which,
Mhm.
of course, we want to use this medium to apologize to the followers. Yeah. So now with the repair of our generator, it serves as a backup to the national electricity. So we pay our bills, like you always say. We pay the bills, make sure to get all of the tokens so that
Mhm.
we be able to run, but the services are not provided. It becomes a problem. So where you should be heading now, instead of getting a profit from what you already budgeted for, you have to go into that and buy fuel, and it becomes a serious burden. It also goes beyond what one may always, think that it is ordinary, but it's very serious. So electricity, like you said, is one of the most important things. You cannot have an industry brought in this country with the level of poor services from our service electricity service provider. A man that is producing a larger scale, like for instance, if he's producing iron ore and transforming the iron ore into other materials, are we capable of providing that kind of electricity for that institution? No. So he has to run on generator, and it becomes so cost intensive. Where are the profits? They go towards the buying of fuel. So you have hack in the price of what that person is producing.
Yeah, okay. So you bring up another good point, right? We talked about the over the past week, 2 or 3 weeks, we were looking at the different aspects of Liberianization, right? We talked about the timber, we talked about crushed rocks, we talked about making blocks, and all of these different things, right? So if you look at that list we talked about over the past couple of weeks, where I came up with a great idea. Let's talk about Liberianization, the different aspects of the Liberian economy that have been set aside. They've been cut out. They've been set aside for Liberian wholesale Liberian, only Liberian participation, right? Okay. So the amazing thing about the set aside, is that when you look at that set aside, right? One thing you recognize, one thing you realize is that the set aside, okay, they're all subsets of major corporations. What do I mean by that? Let's look. Okay, let's take the case of Mittal Steel. Mittal Steel, in order for Mittal Steel to function effectively up in Nimba, okay, at Mount Nimba there, okay, in Yekepa, and in order for Mittal Steel to function effectively in Buchanan, just imagine that that company has had to invest millions of dollars every month to run their own multiple diesel generator power plants, somewhere between 5 to 10 megawatts at each location. In order to run that, or run those two power plants, for housing, for hospitals and everything else, and all of the ancillary services, their conveyors and everything up in Yekepa, And then the same thing for port operations and handling, and the conveyors that load the excavators, they call them, that take the iron ore off the mount when the trains bring it, to the discharging of the cars, flipping the cars over and everything, and then excavate it and put it onto the ships. All of that is electricity. So let's think about the logistics at the logistical aspects. That means they're having to pay someone, another company, to haul the diesel fuel from Monrovia up to Yekepa, or maybe they're putting it on train cars, right? To haul it up there, and that's every day, because of that's a power plant. Those are 2 power plants that are running 24/7. So just try to conceive that, Rifa. You're complaining for, listener, your complaint on one little, maybe 75 kVA or 100 kVA generator, what it costs you every day to run, or every week to run, right? Then you just expand that to somebody who's running, 500 kVA or 700 kVA, or maybe 1 MD or 1 megawatt generator. You got 10 of them. The fuel, the repairs, the servicing, then the cost of the fuel, the cost of the servicing to run those 2 power plants. Okay. All of the servicing aspects, the other small companies that are operating around those services, you think the iron ore is profitable? And the only thing the government of Liberia is getting money from is what? The salary budgets, right? Salary budgets, where all the employees pay taxes, Social Security, whatnot, and then they spend the money in the local economy. And then we get the money off the whatever tax it is, FOB, when they at the, whatever the price of iron ore is at the point of loading the ship to export it. That's what we get. But the real money in the iron ore business depends on this electricity. When you add value to the iron ore, but if you remember when we were young, Lamco and Bong Mines had to build what? Pelletizing plants. They had to build pelletizing plant, which was what? The refining of the iron ore to make it more valuable so that it could be more profitable for them. And that's how we as a country, we as a nation, we were able to earn more tax revenue because we were now exporting a higher value product. But now, how can we achieve that? How can we get to that when we don't have this available? So all of the ancillary businesses that are around the mining companies, okay, the crushed rocks that is needed, is Mittal getting that from a Liberian company? The cement blocks that are needed to build different buildings, are they getting it from Liberian companies? So, I mean, the furniture, the beds, the office, are they getting it from Liberian companies? So the real money in all of our natural resources in our country is not dependent on the exporting of it. It is all of the Liberian-owned businesses that supply, that cater to, that service those different concessions. And those concessions become more profitable and they can do more work when this thing becomes available so that they can be profitable and they can refine the product in country that will support more Liberian type companies. And then the government can now impress upon them Liberianization. So it's the same thing like Firestone. That was where I was born and raised. I'm a product of Bridgestone, of Firestone. Back then we used to call it Firestone Plantation. So every aspect of Firestone as a company to process rubber are there Liberian companies participating in every aspect. All the Firestone schools need desks. Are there Liberian companies providing the woodworking, doing the woodworking businesses to make the desks for all of the schools in Firestone? Is the government, pressing Firestone to say, look, this aspect of is Liberianization? Liberian companies actively bidding, tendering on the 500, 600 desks for different schools. Firestone has a lot of schools in the different divisions. They have a lot of schools. I mean, the notebooks, the copybooks, are Liberian companies providing that, or is that being done through other means where Liberians are not benefiting from that? I mean, these are critical things. So I think we as Liberians, especially us in the diaspora, we need to put our mouths where our money is. We need to put money behind all of the things we talk about. And I think that is so critical. That is so critical to building our economy. So critical. Let's open up the phone line, Rufus, so we can talk about some stuff. Let's get some people to call in. Put the phone numbers up there. If you're in the U.S., please call on WhatsApp. Rufus is going to put the numbers up there. So look at the numbers there. Please pick up the phone wherever you are. Put it into your phone and call in. Let's have an open discussion today. Let's talk about some different things. And let's see what we can engage on in a positive way and drive, build, and uplift Liberia. Okay?
0778-665-073-0887-105-105 are the numbers to call and form part of the program. Business Talk is non-political. It's where we expand your knowledge in the world of business. 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073. Do we have a US number that we can?
No, that everybody, even if you're in the US, you're listening, they can put that number in WhatsApp and still call the show. So let's just go ahead.
0778-665-073, 0887-105-105 are the numbers to call. And as an alternative line for those of you in the diaspora, let me use this line as an alternative line for those of you in the diaspora to form part of the broadcast. 0770-378-566. For those of you in the diaspora, this is the WhatsApp number you can call. 0778-665-073. That's the WhatsApp line you can call. But those of you in Liberia and wanting to chant in those things that we chant on those things that we are having conversation about, you can call 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073, 0778-665-073, 0887-105-105 are the local numbers, and the WhatsApp line for diasporans you can call 0770-378-566. So while we are with the class, we can begin to talk on other issues.
Yeah, so again, we talked about over the past week, we talked about the role the diaspora plays in developing different aspects of the Liberian economy. Here it is, December is again coming. The Decemberies are coming back home. The largest tourist, segment of the largest segment of the tourism business in Liberia. So Liberians are going to be buying their tickets, flying home, engaging, traveling across the country, spending money in the economy. So my advice to those who are listening today, be it at home, be it in Liberia, be it across the U.S., take your time, go home and engage, with different people who are into small business, medium-sized business, hotel, motel, guest houses, cyber cafes, engage at that level and see what kind of a meaningful contribution you can make. I think it's so important that the diaspora, as I said earlier, we must be the light bearers. We must be the light bearers coming home and bringing new monies, new ideas, new capital to engage with small Liberian businesses to help them to grow from small or from petty business to bigger business, and then ultimately moving them up to being a major force for good to bring about the transformation that we want in our economy. I really do. I think, don't just go home and have fun and just, do what you do, but go home and engage in a positive way and be a transformational force. Liberia has a lot of different opportunities. A lot of opportunities. I think, the return on investment in Liberia is high. I think Liberians need a lot of teaching training if you're a small petty Liberian business, you need a lot of training. And that's why this show is all about. Don't just listen to the show, but pick up the phone and call. You'll be surprised. Whatever is on your mind, whatever you're thinking about, we may be able to help you, guide you, direct you to different type of resources, and that can help you to answer that question and move you from the level that you are to the next level. So the phone lines are open. Please call in. I want to take more calls today so we can have an open discussion on different things. I've shared this show on my Facebook page. I know there are a lot of people who are listening. Don't be silent. Please pick up the phone and call. Let's engage. Let's have a discussion today. Let's have a real discussion today.
Yeah. So let's reach out to the telephone line. This person. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. The name and you join us from where?
I'm Oscar calling.
Oscar, please the volume of the radio. Huh?
I'm Oscar calling from Florida.
Oscar, let's hear you.
Steve speak very well. I think you know more about small business or whatsoever. You got a lot of ideas in it. But I have a concern about the Liberian business people who actually want to be like myself sitting here. My concern is that it is very difficult for a small business to get a loan facilities, most especially with banking institutions or other loan institutions. It is a very difficult thing. Maybe I might attribute it to, those that have been given loan from the onset and they mismanage it. But equally with that, most of these loans that can be given to people, they don't actually follow up to really find out whether they are involved into this thing and they have passions for it. So most of the time they misdirect giving loan to the wrong person, or sometimes it happens on the basis of family line or friendship line. So at the end of the day, we all, Liberian small business people, take the blame. People say we are not serious, this and that. When the money is given, we divert it into a different thing. But if actually people want to help, and you apply for maybe a loan for a purpose, small business purpose, they should actually take their time to go and assess what you are doing, if you are actually saying the truth. And if they assess and they see that you are really up to the tax, then of course this money can be given to you because, from nowhere, from your own pocket you started. That means you are actually up to tax to continue the process. But in Liberia, even if you apply 100 times for a loan and invite maybe the institutions to go and do monitoring and see that you are doing well so that you can be given this loan, people don't pay attention to it. So if we're taking the new dimensions to bring small business people on board like me, I believe that all of what we will be saying, there should be people that will actually follow up to see that we are saying the right thing so that we can get the assistance and then help to move the economy. I think that is my suggestion for now.
Thank you. Thank you so well. We appreciate your participation.
Very good point. Is that his name was Oscar, right? Oscar, I believe it was, right? Oscar.
Yeah.
Thank you, Oscar. Thank you for the call. Thank you very much for the call. So write these things down, Oscar. Let me give you a couple of points. You brought up a very, very important topic on the show that we talked about that to some degree. It is a challenge in the Liberian economy. It is a problem in the Liberian economy, and I think you hit on a couple of things. So here's my approach. Number one of the reasons or the challenges when you go to bankers, right? When you go to a banker to borrow money, the money you're trying to borrow is not the banker's money, it's other people's money. You got to understand that money that you want the banker to loan you is not the bank's money. It is the depositor's money you want him to borrow to you so that you can, apply it to your business and then pay him back with interest, okay? So one of the most important things in small business is record keeping. Record keeping, write it down. You've got to make sure you keep records because financial records, your daily sales, your weekly sales, then your 4-week sales makes a month, your 3 months makes a quarter, 4 quarter makes a year. Financial statements are very, very important. They are very, very important. Accurate financial records. Let me expand on my pastor brother here, Robin Lane from the Pool of Life Church. Accurate records. You've got to keep proper records because the banker is focused on records. He needs data. If you come there, the loan application is not a reflection of your business. That's just a standard part of his process. Okay? And again, he puts another point. Those accurate financial records have to be properly itemized. Put it there, put it on your paper, put it in your paper there, Oscar. You got to itemize your financial records in a way that it tells a story about your business. Okay, so today is a Saturday business day. Okay, you're ending the week today, and then so from Monday to today, how did you do? What are your total sales? If it's $1,000 for the week, out of your sales, what was your gross profit? What was your operating costs? What was your So you itemize it. You do a form so you can put put all your information in there so that when the week ends, even you as a businessman can look at it and see whether you are profitable for the week, whether you lost money for the week, your inventory levels, whether you started off with 50 items and now you're down to 25. When do you restock? All of those things, proper, itemized, accurate financial records is very important to the banker. It's important to the banker. So if you go to the banker, just have the initial conversation with the guy, I'm sure you would testify today and say, look, yes, I went to the guy, he asked me for financial records. He said, man, look, how long you been doing business? 3 years. Okay, fine, good. So you have a history. Do you have any financial records that reflect, that show what you've been doing from the time you started up to today? And those records have to show growth because now you want the guy to invest in the business. Because if the financial records don't back up what you're doing, how then can you convince him to invest in the business? That you'll be able to make money to pay back the debt or to pay back the loan. So the banker understands. He's what we call a money man. A money man understands money. He knows how to make money. He knows how to apply money, how to use money as a tool, like a screwdriver, so that it will multiply and expand and it will grow. So you got to understand that you're going to meet someone who truly understands money. So that means the burden of proof is on you, so that accounting record, like Pastor Lane just saying here again, that those financial records, do you know what they show? They show and they prove financial responsibility. That you as a businessman, you are responsible for your business and you're demonstrating it by keeping proper financial records, because those financial records that are itemized and accurate, they show, they demonstrate your responsibility, and they tell your story. That's what you just said. You said that the bank, the people at the bank, they don't even know, they don't come to check to see whether or not you've been in business for X amount. So the financial records tell your story. That record tells your story. And then, like Pastor Lean said, that story, the accurate, itemized financial records that show and prove your responsibility, then to the banker, confirms that you are what? You are credit worthy. You are worthy of getting the loan. Okay? So it's so important. It's so important. You've got to be credit worthy. Somebody comes to you, John comes to you and say, man, I want to borrow $50. Why didn't you give John the money? Because you know that John is not, he's not credit worthy. He's not, able to pay the money back. That's why you didn't give him the money, because that's what the banker calls they call it credit worthiness. You are not worthy of getting that credit, of getting that loan, because you don't have any financial responsibility to take this money and pay it back. Then we have to chase you all through the town in the dark, all up in the bush looking for our money. You see, and that's one of the biggest challenges with Liberian businesses. Is not only in Liberia, but even here in the US. So that's why it's important. Business Talk is that show that teaches, that educates, that enlightens, that shows, helps people like yourself to understand the challenges in running a small business. Thank you for the call. Very good call. Thank you, Pastor Lane, for contributing. Very good call. So to all of the small business people out there listening, credit worthiness depends on your record keeping, accurate, itemized record keeping that would show, that would prove your credit worthiness, and to also show, right, your financial responsibility. Okay, so it's so important. It's so important. So important. Thank you for that contribution. So let's get another call.
0887 105 105 0778 66 5073. 0778 665073, 0887 105 105 are the numbers to call. If you just join us, this is Business Talk, non-political. We open your minds to the things that matters, to the growth and development of your business and your livelihood. Let's get to hear you. Ask those questions. You can be the next person in line to get your mind free from the things that held you hostage in the growth of your business. Business Talk is here to relieve you of the stress and give you the way forward. Get the calls coming through on 0887 105 105 0778 665073. And for those of you in the diaspora, you want to weigh in as well, you can hit me up on this alternative WhatsApp line, 0770 378 566. 0770 378 566 is an alternative line for those in the diaspora who want to weigh in on our conversation. So the lines are open. Let's hear you, Mr. Phillips. You are in front.
One of the things that we Liberians, and even here in the U.S., I mean, Pastor Lane is right here in Houston with me, and he's a small business man as well. He's into the catering business. We see we see each other every Sunday at church. We even meet during the week, talk during the week. He runs his own small business. He's into catering. And, these are the things we talk about. How do you grow? How do you grow? Okay, growth is important. And then also, new sources of revenue. You've got to figure out, but again, record keeping is important. Records, because, before you want someone to invest in your business, the first investor in your business, write this down. The first investor in your business has to be yourself. You have to be the first investor in your business. So if you're not, financially responsible to yourself, then how do you expect somebody else to, have confidence or trust in you to borrow you money? You cannot even manage your own money before you want someone else to give you their money to risk. No. So financial responsibility starts with you. Investment starts with you. The accountability. Okay, accounting is all about, the reason why accounting is important in the business is because it shows financial accountability. How much money was invested, how much money was spent, how much profit was made. It shows accountability. So to small Liberian businesses, take from this class today, keep good, accurate, itemized financial records, because they will tell your story. Develop, sit down. If you know somebody who's a bookkeeper, if you know somebody who's an accountant, say, look, man, I'm going to write all of my stuff in my notebook and I will bring it to you every Saturday. Can you please put it on an Excel form for me, so at least I can have my daily, and then Saturday or Sunday after church, you sit down, you review your records, and you see what you've done for the week. Okay, like Pastor Lena is talking about here. Network. Who are you connected to? Your customers. How do you treat your customers? Networking within the business. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Marketing, advertising. Rufus, he runs a radio station that covers a massive area. Facebook is a major part, is an important part of advertising and connecting to your customers. And like Rufus T. Delbo is saying, good record keeping is key to every business. So if you don't have good record keeping for your business, then it means that you don't even have a business. Because the first thing when if you ask her, if I call you and ask you, okay, what kind of business are you in? And we want, this is something Ava and I talked about a couple of weeks ago, and maybe we will bring it to fruition, that we would pull together a couple of Liberian investors here in the US, a couple of guys, and say, look, man, let's put money into a pool, and then let's create an investment show that small Liberian businesses will come on. We give you 15 minutes, you make a presentation, you submit your plan to us. It has to be a business that's been running for maybe a year or 2 years, and then you submit your plan, you come on the air, we interview you, and you do your discussion, and the investment will probably be anywhere from $100, $250, $350 or $500 investment. But there would be, you have to participate in a training class for 4 weeks to qualify, to make sure that our investment in your business will pay a return. So there are ways that we in the diaspora can play a very, very impactful role. And those things, we're formulating them, we're forming them. So those in the diaspora who are listening, who want to be part of this, hit me up on DM, and we will talk about it. But it's in the formulative stage. It's in the formative stage, because I think that, people who are doing small business, most of their loan requirements, they're not much money, especially in the Liberian setting. There's not much. Okay. And Alfred Boole is saying, absolutely, record keeping helps you to know your growth as a businessman. Very, very good point, Alfred. You got to keep record of your growth. How do you know your business is growing? You got to have another thing I want to throw in here for business people. You got to have a quota. Write it down. Quota, Quota, quota. How much do you want to make every day in your sales? Not profit, but in your sales. You got to have a quota. You got to say, you know what? I want to make X amount of dollars every day in sales. Whether it's $50, whether it's $100 sales every day. You got to have a quota, meaning that and then that quota, very good, Pastor Lane, will be driven by an action plan. We talked about that. You guys, everybody remember the 10 key points for small business. We talked about what? You got to have passion, you got to have knowledge, you got to have experience. We talked about setting specific goals. Again, there you go. Okay, you got to have goals. You got to have, and that's your quota is all part of your goals. So, the phone lines are open. Please, call in, and let's have a conversation about this. Small Liberian businesses, medium-sized businesses, let's call in. We got people in the U.S. participating. We got people in Ghana listening. We got people all across Monrovia, Liberia listening and talking. So let's call in. The telephone numbers are there. Let's call in. Okay. What other topic you want to talk about, Rufus? Small business. What are the, besides the electricity issue in small business? Yes. I talked about innovation today. I said we're going to expand about innovation. One of the things that we small business people, so Alfred Boo just put another point here. He said, quota is knowing what you want to make every day, which I call a salesman daily target. Very good point, Alfred. Very good point. You as a businessman, a small, petty, medium-sized Liberian business, you got to have your quota. You got to know, in order for me to live, to keep this business alive, my minimum is $50 sales. $50 sales every day. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure that that you have a plan to achieve this quota. Rufus Jusu is saying that you should please put the phone numbers in the comment section on Facebook so people can call in. So you got to have a plan that supports achieving your quota. You can't just wake up in the morning, get dressed, and say, I'm going to go out there and hustle. No, we talked about that word hustling. Hustling is a bad word. You got to have a plan. There's got to be a strategy that drives that plan so that your quota, whether it's $25 US, $50 US, $100 US for the day, you got to have your quota. Your quota is important. Your quota is important. So that you have a plan and a strategy that drives that plan to achieve, to win, to make your quota every day. So that when you do your financial record keeping, accurate, itemized financial record keeping, they can show your growth plan. Because every day, every week that you are achieving your quota and you're going above your quota, you can see your growth, that you're going from petty business to small business, to medium business, and ultimately to large business. So when you go to the bank, you can say, this is where my quota started off 1 year ago. And you can see 6 months into the business, I grew. And then 6 months later, by the end of the year, I was doubling my sales quota. That shows growth. My profitability went from here, it went to there. And now you see, I started off, my inventory was $1,000. And by the time the year end, my inventory cost, I was bringing in more than $5,000 a month in inventory. So the business actually grew. So your financial records can prove your growth plan, okay? And like Pastor Lynn is saying here, write the plan. Don't just talk it, write it down. Write down your plan. We talked about that months ago. Write your plan, organize your plan, execute the plan, and then you will ultimately see the results. So that's how you grow, that's how you increase, and that's how you prosper, okay? So let's talk about innovation. The phone lines are open. The phone lines are there. Local telephone line 778-665-073 or 0887-105105. So all of you guys who are listening out there, Facebook, wherever, Nimba County, Maryland County, I send this thing out. Pick up the phone. Let's call. Let's have a good conversation. Let's talk about innovation. As a small business person, as an entrepreneur, innovation, write it down, innovate. The essence of being an entrepreneur, the essence of being a business person is innovation. That is the creative mindset. We talked about that, right? Many, many months ago. So let's bring it into today's conversation. How does innovation play in a Liberianization plan? How does innovation play in the mind of the diaspora Liberian in the US, in Canada, in Europe, who wants to engage in business in Liberia? How does innovation play into that? Innovation is very important. Why? Because innovation helps you, it supports your vision. So you, as a small business person, medium-sized business person, we talked about this months ago. You must have the vision. You must be able to see. Okay, and that's what innovation does. Innovation, the foundation of innovation is creativity. So we're all created with that ability to create. and then to support your creative mindset is innovation. You must be able to innovate. Now, how can I add it? How can I support that one? Let's talk about some innovation in, let's just say, the internet sector, right? Wi-Fi sector. Okay, Wi-Fi internet. So we know that there's so many so many drinking spots around Monrovia. You go, I mean, every community from Bonneville Estate, Stephen Tower Estate, Jacob Town, you name it, there's cyber cafe. I mean, there are drinking spots, entertainment centers all around. So as an innovator, a small business person, I would get in the car, get on the pan, get on the keke from red light, and tell the guy, say, man, look, today I'm going to chat with you for the day. I got my notebook, got my smartphone, and I said, well, I'm going to stop at every drink. We're going to ride down. We're going to go for red light, stay on this side of the road. We're going to go all the way to the Freeport. We'll get to Freeport, we'll make a U-turn, and then we'll come back. I'm going to pay you $50 for the day. I'll buy the gas. Just ride me. Be careful. Okay. What's my focus as an innovative business? I want to bring broadband or Wi-Fi internet, and that's my business. And I want to make money. So every drinking spot I stop, I stop, take the picture, meet the person, get in contact with his name in the book, get a new drinking spot. I collect my data and I go down. Why? Because I, as an innovator, creative, small, medium-sized businessman, I see an opportunity. I see an opportunity where all of those people sitting at those drinking spots, they're sitting there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, buying their food, buying their drinks, but all of them have smartphones. And all of them are putting, prepaid, $1, $2, $3 data into their phone. And I see a multi-million-dollar business for what? For Wi-Fi, where I can sell internet cheaper into those locations and get people to sit there, buy my ticket, connect cheaper than buying Lone Star or Orange, and browse for 24 hours. That's $1 million business. And I'm, as an innovative entrepreneur, I see that, but other people just see a whole bunch of people, crazy, confused way. No, as an innovator, the innovative mind that is creative as its foundation is able to see through all of that confusion and see opportunity. That's what innovation does. Innovation allows you to see through all of the noise, the confusion, and the chaos, and it allows you to zero in on that one thing that drives you. So as you're sitting, you're listening to this, you say, wow, Mr. Phillips can see. I don't have to physically be there. I'm 5,000 miles away, and I know that there are so many mobile phones, smartphones from red light to Freeport. There are almost 200,000 or 300,000 smartphones. Everybody is there. Everybody wants to browse. Everybody spends their time on the phone. They're putting money in their phone. We got a call? Okay, put them on the line.
Hello?
Yeah, this is Rufus.
Rufus, let's hear you.
Yeah, okay, my name is Rufus T. Diabo. I would like to use this medium to appreciate Mr. Akina Phillips, my boss, and you, Mr. Rufus, the candidate for this unique show. But I have a question.
Go ahead. We're listening.
And I also have an observation. Looking at the current economic situation now in Liberia, the purchasing power has dropped. People are no longer buying as before. So what can I do as a small business entrepreneur in order to maintain my cash flow, not to decrease in cash? What can I do? Because people are now buying. I'm selling a goods that have small profit. And before, if I purchase, like for example, I'm selling everything power. My revenue instead of selling a week is $10. It's customers that actually put it into buy. So I'm to sell in a week and buy within that same week. But currently looking at the situation in Liberia, people are no longer putting for power because you got more people now diverting to speeding current. So in order to sell Your expectation is not being met. So what can I do in order to maintain cash flow, not to lose the market?
Thank you, Rufus.
Very, very good point. Very good point, Rufus. Very, very good point. What can you do? Very good. So what you need to do, what I would recommend, what I would suggest that you do is you do more Facebook advertising. Do more Facebook advertising. Find more communities where the electricity is more stable. That again, it's all about this thing behind me today: electricity. So if you're selling LEC tokens, then what you may have to do is you may have to do research, do market research, call people, find out which areas have more stable electricity, and then you go into those areas and market your services there, so that those customers who are on the stable grid will then be able to buy from you. This is indeed the challenge with selling the LEC tokens in the Liberian economy. You're trying to sell a product, right? But the stability of the product is not there. So the product / service, okay? So it's a combination of both a product and a service. The token is the product, but then when you activate the token in the meter, then the service is supposed to be delivered. So that will be my recommendation, suggestion, and advice. Find the areas that has more stable electricity, identify those areas, market and advertise in those areas, and bring those customers onto your side. And then you can educate, inform, and enlighten those customers of the creative nature of what you're selling, where it provides ease of activation, ease of recharge, and they don't have to go out. They can contact you directly, can recharge their meters. Those are the features, the benefits that you want to sell. So one, move from the areas where power is not stable, go to the areas where power is stable, and then advertise and market in those areas and get those customers into your basket, and then you can educate them. Okay? Yeah. And then Alfred Bull is saying, right, sir, Mr. Elkanah Alfred, more publicity is needed for every businessman, much especially on the internet and radio advertising. Very good point. Let's take another call.
Hello? Hello? Oh, don't hold on to the line. Hello? Okay, let's take this person. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir. Your name and Nigeria somewhere.
Yeah, I'm Oscar calling back again. I keenly listened to the caller, the guys that just called just now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of business, how they call it. There are a lot of challenges in the business arena in Liberia. For example, in Liberia, this month, October and November, you will have, the pineapple farmers, you will have pineapple coming from all over the country. Okay, coming to Monrovia, because Monrovia being a populated place, and Monrovia being a place where maybe people can somehow afford. But when the commodity is huge on the market, then the price automatically drops. At the end of the day, we cannot realize actually from our produce and other things, we cannot realize anything. One suggested, for example, like Cape Town, like Bomi, if you have those type of farmers, about 100 plus something, small farmers, instead of their products going in that direction, why some of these guys can be encouraged in the diaspora to invest into that direction? For example, bring a machine and say, look, all pineapple farmers that are doing pineapple, I want to bring the machines to do processing. Because I believe that when you do a processing, there will be a value added to that particular commodities, and those business people will also wrap up on that and then make more profit. So I think we should look at all of this Because, a little money cannot just go into that. For example, you need to build a place and then buy the processing plant, that is the pineapple juice processing plant. And if possible, even encourage the people to enlarge the farm because you're talking about plants now. So at the end of the day, the market, you not only have the market here, but you will be able to even extend the market beyond. You will be able to export and the rest of it. So
Very
I
good.
want the studio guests to look at it. And I also want that message to be extended to those powerful, you know, uh, people who have money, to those people that have money so that they can invest in those areas because it makes a lot of money and it will help to grow Liberians and the Liberians' economy. So thank you.
Very good. Very good point. Let me expand.
Let's get this person quickly, then we
Okay,
get the
okay,
next one.
okay.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good
Yeah?
afternoon.
Here Aloysius Gardner, filming from District Number 6, Nick's Motivational Center. Let me say
Okay.
good morning, good afternoon to Mr. Phillips from my end.
Good afternoon.
You talk about innovation. And in my own little man understanding, innovation is the art of creating something or starting something. I think it relates to invention or designing something. But what if I get into a small business and then probably for the first day, second day, third day, or a week, and then maybe that small business I get involved into and I feel disappointed it's not going. And you talk about innovation. Do I have any means again of creating something new and getting involved into something new to try again to see where it will go? Thank you.
Very good point. Okay, so let me take Mr. Nuke's point, and then I'll expand on Mr. Oscar's point. So Nukes, look at it like this. So you wake up in the morning, you look outside, you got a place that you say you want to go and plant okra, right? So you go, you clean the place, and you put the okra seeds in the ground. 1 week the okra don't come out. You say, you know what? You move all the okra seed from there. I want to plant bitter ball. So you go in there, you dig the hole again, you put the bitter ball seeds there. 1 week, the bitter ball ain't come from the ground. You say, you know what? You move the bitter ball seed from there. I want to plant cassava. So there's no consistency and persistency. Write that down. When you become an innovator as a creative businessman, right? You must be persistent and you must be consistent in what you do. Persistency and consistency with the vision that you have is what will bring you to that point of success and prosperity for you to realize to get a return on your investment. Inconsistency and the lack of persistency causes you to always drift, right? So if you go to scripture, if I will connect this to scripture, it says that the double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. So you don't want to be double-minded. You don't want to be shifting like the water. You don't want to be like quote unquote Reuben, that son of Jacob, who was unstable. You want to be stable. You want to be persistent. You want to be consistent with your vision. You want to look forward. You don't look to the left. You don't look to the right. You focus on it. You drive it. Because if it is worth bringing forth, that means there's going to be things you have to overcome. You get my point? Nobody becomes a champion simply because they woke up the next morning and say, I'm a champion. You believe you're a champion and you go and you fight your battles and you overcome and you become a champion. So consistency, persistency in being an innovator is what makes you successful and prosperous. Okay? So stick with it. Identify, do your proper research, keep proper record, have a plan, have a strategy, drive it, set your goals, and you achieve it. Now, let's go to Mr. Oscar. Mr. Oscar, thank you for calling back. It's a good thing to know that you're a pineapple farmer. And you brought up a very, very good business strategy. I just got your number. I will call you directly on WhatsApp after the show to go deeper into it, because what you just done, you were able to tie most of what we've been talking about over the past weeks into just your telephone call and your explanation. Very, very good point. So let's talk. So you're an agronomist, just like my late father, Joe Phillips from Firestone. He was an agronomist. He was a rubber man. So you're a pineapple man. I'll call you Mr. Oscar the Pineapple Man. And I want you to please always participate in our show every week. So you're in the Bombay area, you're in the Cape Mount area planting pineapples, acres and acres of pineapples. The challenge with Liberia is, again, this thing behind me, electricity. That's why I put it back behind me. Electricity is the foundation of what you talked about. You talked about the fact that if we don't add value to the pineapple crop and turn it into value-added products like juices in the bottles, in the packs, or whatever the case is, how then can you grow the economy? How can you not only make money, but build a solid, wealthy foundation? You get my point. This is the key. Now, if you go to any place in your area there, you will see they're importing pineapple juice in the bottle, right? The solo juice. So what you just identified is the fact that the pineapples that you're planting, that you're growing, that you're harvesting there, we can also process, add value right there in Bombay County or wherever you are, okay, in the West, and then also package it properly and then feed the various gas stations, drinking spots. So there is a market locally. How do I know that? If there wasn't a market, then why are they importing solo juice? The mere fact that they're importing solo juice and solo juice is at every drinking spot, in every restaurant, in every hotel, it confirmed that there is a market. There is a multi-million-dollar market in Liberia for pineapple juice in a box or in the bottle. But the problem is the lack of constant, stable, and reliable energy, electricity, prevents the investment in that sector. If I were to say, okay, you know what, Mr. Oscar, the Pineapple Man, let's put together an investment. We need to be able to sell that idea. We need to be able to sell that idea to investors. And that's where people like myself come in. That's what we do. I'm a business development specialist. So I'm able to take the idea, because the fact of the matter is your crop that you plant every year or every 6 months has a value. But the problem is, like you said, if you're only cutting the pineapple, harvesting the pineapple, preparing it and putting it in the trucks and bringing it to Monrovia and to compete with the other farmers, then that's simple economics. Oversupply, right? Reduces the price, and then you are at a loss. So your strategy should not be to bring it to Monrovia. Your strategy now should be to find the right people to leverage your crop so we can work together and pool resources to see how we can get the available power. That's the key now, to get the available power so that we're able to what? Get an investment to add value to your pineapples, get it into box juices and push it on the market. But again, energy, electricity has to be key in formulating that strategy, because even if we put it together and get it to the bank will come up with the same question. The bank will come up with the same question, because what you have so effectively said is that there are many farmers in that market. So the available raw material, which is what, thousands or maybe hundreds of acres of pineapple, is already there. So that means the raw material to produce, you guys are already producing the pineapples, but we need to now move it to the next level that requires financing, capital investment for the machines, right? Powered up by electricity, right? So then take that raw material, process it, add value to it, package it, and then refrigerate it and get it into the market, because that product can now compete locally with the solo juice. Because every solo juice we take off the market, that is a locally produced packaged juice that we can put on the market. So if solo juice if there's $1 million worth of solo juice being imported into the market every month, that means that the $1 million market for that locally produced juice, that's how you got to understand it. So we can now start building wealth, creating wealth, more wealthy Liberian business people in the agronomy sector, in the agriculture sector, producing the pineapples. And then there become more wealthy people in the value-added sector, taking that raw material, processing it, adding value to it, using electricity, to create more jobs and build the economies and feed our actual need and reduce the importation and increase local production, thereby creating wealth and creating more jobs in our Liberian economy. That's how we grow. So, Mr. Pineapple Man, I'll be calling you after the show. So please charge your phone, have credit in your phone. We'll be talking very shortly, within 20 or 30 minutes. So that's how we do it.
Very interesting. Very interesting. The lines are still open. A little bit extension.
Please call in.
0778-665-073, 0887-105-105 are the numbers to call and form part of the program. Business Talk right here on Love FM 105.1, 0778-665-073, 0887-105-105 are the numbers to call. Let's have the time talking. We can talk. We can give the ideas that are needed to transform your businesses.
What Mr. Oscar talked about was very, very important. But also the question Mr. Noosh brought up was also very important. Very, very important point. And I think that's where a lot of Liberian businesses get very, very challenged. They lose focus, they lose excitement, they lose concentration.
Let's go to the telephone line.
Let's go to the telephone line. Let's take another call.
Hello, your name, and you join us from where?
I'm Bill Scott, and I'm calling you from LC Sinka.
Scott, let's hear you.
One line of business in Liberia, what I observe is that we all want to do business, but we don't want to create passion for what we want to do.
Very good point.
We just want to do it because of the money. Being an entrepreneur, it comes with passion. It comes with innovation, then adding value. So if you want to start a business, the first thing that you need to create is your passion for that thing. That's why we give you the energy to be persistent and consistent. We see in Liberia today, most entrepreneurs and most Liberian businesses just want to go to the bank, get a loan, and say they want to start business without even planning on what to do with that loan. So if the loan comes, you want to use that same loan to buy phone, you want to use that same loan to pay the rent or whatsoever you want to do. At the end of the day, you have to understand that you won't get money immediately if you start a business. Businesses comes with challenge. So if you take the loan to start a business, you will always find challenges. And at the end of the day, you will want to be able to meet up with your application to pay that loan in time. So at the end of the time, you become bankruptcy. At the end of the day, the business closes. You can't be able to run the business again. You start hiding yourself around because you are not able to pay the loan. So the first thing as an entrepreneur, we should create passion for what we want to do. That will give us the energy to go beyond. And we shouldn't start business based on loans. Yes, you have to start something before you can be able.
Oh, he's off the line. He's been harmonized.
See if you can get that guy's number. See if you can get his number. I think that's our winner for the day. I mean, that guy, he was able to summarize everything we talked about, what we've been talking about over the past weeks and months. He talked about passion. He talked about innovation. He talked about investment. He talked about creativity. He talked about not starting the business with a loan. He talked about the excitement of being a small business person that drives your business. That the first, that's what I said earlier, the first investor has to be you. You have to be the first investor. That's what this guy just talked about. So, I mean, this guy really, the last caller, he really nailed it on the head. So to everyone listening, you don't start a business with a loan. You have to be the first one to capitalize your business. Your first capitalization in that business has to be your mind, your passion, your vision, your excitement. All of those things they're all part of your capital investment in your business. your passion to drive the business, your innovation, your vision, your desire, all of those things is what we put together to start to initiate your business. So I think, the last caller, if you're listening, if you're able to call back, please call back so we can get your number, get your name. You are the winner today. You are the winner today. I mean, what do you think, Rufus?
Yeah, you're right. I think I got the number. Yeah, let me see if I'm correct. If I'm correct, you can actually call back and let me know. Say, yeah, Port Divine, that's true. I'm a number there. 770-99456. 770-99456 is the number. We need a name and the confirmation that indeed you are the person. All right. So
Yeah, I mean, this is very, very important. This is so important. I mean, small Liberian businesses, we are the foundation of this economy. The Liberianization Act, I mean, in these different sectors of the economy, they're so fundamental and they're so, empowering to us. And all of us in the diaspora, we have to engage. That's what Business Talk is all about. So people like Mr. Oscar can call in, talk about what he's doing. Other people who run cyber cafes and other business, pick up the phone and call in. Don't be silent. Don't be quiet. Don't be a silent listener. If you're doing mobile money, if you're faced with challenges, if you have a drinking spot, call in. You have a motel, hotel, call in. Let's talk about it. You have a pharmacy. What challenges, what issues you're facing. You're seeking investors into your segment. Those are things we talk about on this show. And if you don't call in, nobody knows. And if nobody knows what you need, then how can anybody help you? Like most of the pastors will say, a closed mouth is a closed destiny.
Definitely. Yeah, and I'm going to make it my duty this week to actually get the president of the Liberia Business Association because this is very important. A lot of Liberians are involving into business, but there are some sticky issues, most especially when it comes to business registration, when it comes to taxation and all those stuff like that. That there's a need that these institutions, LIBA and other, the business registry, the LRA, come to speak to those issues so that our people get to clearly understand what are the rudiments, the steps to which they can get to be in line with government policies. Because, mind you, you cannot have all of the contracts given to foreigners. Most of our Liberian businesses are not registered. So that serves as another issue all by itself. Take, for instance, if the government is giving out a catering contract, you as a Liberian business person who is involved with the catering services, yes, you can cater well, but you do not have documentation. You are not registered. How do you get that contract? The man who is a foreigner, who has all of the documentation, is awarded the contract because you, the citizen, you are not registered. You do not have all of the documents or the requirement that calls for obtaining the contract. And mind you, based on the fact that you are registered as a Liberian business owner, trust me, first preference will be given. So if you are in a competitive issue that has to do with who will the contract be given, trust me, you as a Liberian, first preference will be given you because you are a registered Liberian business owner, paying your taxes rightly. Come on, boom. But these are things that our people are lacking. We just open shop, you're people buying from the shop, but the business is not registered.
Yeah, and the reason why, one of the reasons why is, again, is back to what the young gentleman who called in, he called in one of the limitation. We have this limiting, mindset because, again, what I started off with, that the darkness hindered our ability to think far. Okay, so when you go to college, there's a grade you get beside the A, B, C, D, and F. There's a grade there. Very strange grade. It's called I for incomplete. You can't start the business, the process, and leave it incomplete. When you're incomplete, then you're denying yourself of all of the additional benefits. Because the Liberian, in as much as you say, well, you come up and you're beating your chest, I'm a Liberian business, I'm entitled to this. Okay, that's fine. You're entitled to it. Let's check your paperwork. So you beat your chest, you got in the door, you got to the table that you're a Liberian business. Okay, I need to get registered. Okay, fine. You're entitled to this business. No problem. Okay, let's check the paperwork. Come to find out you're incomplete. So all the noise you made to get to the table, you lost the opportunity because you were incomplete. So part of this process is that you always complete the process with the grade of A or B. Complete your process. Business registration. Go to the Liberian Business Registry. Get all your paperwork done. Get your company's bank account, LD and USD. Get your mobile money account. Get proper, documentation. You can't run your business and only have mobile money account. Mobile money account is for convenience. There's no record keeping there. But if you have a bank account, you can go to the bank and say, I want my statement for the past 6 months. They will print it out for you. How you gonna get it from mobile money? Explain, or maybe I don't know. Explain that to me, Rufus. If you want to get a statement from Lone Star for your mobile money account for the last 6 months, will the bank consider your mobile money history a acceptable record keeping for financial records? Yes or no? I don't know.
Yeah, you can get that because for us, even our institution, we also have a mobile money service where you can even have this complete setup where you can even pay your employees through the mobile money service. You can actually get payments from vendors through the mobile money service. So all those things are recorded. So you can get the system.
The question is, even though it's there, is it an acceptable record keeping by the bank for your loan? That's the question.
This is what we need to do.
There's the question. Because those are two, they're mutually inclusive, but they're also mutually exclusive. It's good record keeping. I don't disagree. Itemization, very good, accurate, fine. Okay. But will the bank accept it? Will the bank accept it? Because it's always good to go to that's why you because you can't get the loan from mobile money. Loan sign will get you no loan. That's why you want to move the money from your bank account into your mobile money and then do your expenses there so that at least you have a ledger in your statement that this money was moved there. That's why you want to do it from the bank. And most times it's always wise, it's always advisable that you create your bank account with the bank that you intend on doing business with and taking a loan with so that the history is with the bank. So again, part of this process is that you have to be wise and you have to be very, very, knowledgeable so that when you're making your investment in time, it would pay a dividend for you because you're doing all of the right things. You don't want to waste time and waste money. Okay. So, I see a comment here from Alfred Boo. The first that limits us as small business owner is to open a bank. Is very much challenging. Imagine going to the bank and ask for a cash deposit that you don't even have in your business. So it's challenging. Again, so find out which bank will be more accommodating to small businesses. That's important. Is it Echo Bank or is it GT Bank or is it, Afriland Bank? Is it Bloom Bank? Find out the bank. That's why you have to do your research. Because again, being innovative, being creative, part of that is doing your research. Find out, ask around. Hey man, you're a businessman, you're my peer. What bank is the best bank, the most accommodating bank? I just saw that, I think Bloom Bank that took over from Global Bank, right? I think they've got some very, very innovative small business plans and strategies. So engage Bloom Bank. Find out from Bloom Bank. What's your small business package? I'm a small business person and I want to start saving my money with you. So find out which bank is more accommodating to small, medium, petty Liberian businesses. Then you focus on those banks. And then you build
you can even check out City Trust right on 20th Street in Cinco. City Trust is one of those areas that is very, very important that he pay a visit to check on them.
Yeah. So all the folks out there doing small Liberian business, find out, because you have different levels for the banks. Some of the banks are focused on the big businesses, the Firestone, the Golden Verilium, the Metals, Seti Brothers. They're focused on the big businesses. So they will not be more accommodating to small, petty, medium-sized Liberian businesses. So you have to, do your research, find out which banks cater to small business. Because again, I don't have to be a bank. I could just come to a bank that caters to small Liberian business and say, you know what, look, man, I want to invest in the small Liberian business sector, and I have, $100,000, and I want to cut it up. I want to cut it up into $500 pieces and invest in small Liberian businesses. So when I invest in a small Liberian business, I want to have a bank behind me so that the payments will come back into my account every week and every month. So you meet the qualifications, you meet what our requirements, you go through the training program, you get certificated, and then we assign a financial rep or to your business, so that the money we invest, we're not giving you the money, we're making the money available to you. And we're going to have somebody there working with you to make sure that all of the principles, all of the requirements and the steps are followed for proper record keeping and investing in the business so that we get a return on that money. So those are important aspects of the business. So that person never called back, huh?
No, we haven't. But I'll try to call after the show.
Okay. Well, I think we got 10 more minutes. If we got 10 more minutes, so anybody else listening, please pick up the phone, call the show. Pick up the phone, call the show. Let's have a discussion. Let's have a talk. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the business. Let's talk about small, medium-sized Liberian business. If you're in the agricultural sector, if you have a cyber cafe, if you have a drinking spot, motel, hotel, if you've got a pharmacy, pick up the phone, call. Let's talk about the business. How is electricity affecting your business, or the lack of it? The challenges that come along with it. Let's talk about it. Let's maybe we can give you some ideas, give you some directions. Pick up the phone and call. The telephone lines are there: 0887-105105 or 0778-665073. We're waiting for your call. Rufus, where do you think, how do you think we as a country, we as a nation, how do you think we're going to end the year in terms of economic growth?
Let's squeeze in this person and we'll get to that. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, your name and Jonathan from where?
I'm the one Bill Scott, the last corner.
Bill Scott, is this your number? I took a number.
Yeah, 456.
When I come here. Brother, 777-099-456.
Yeah, that's my number.
Are you calling on here too?
Yeah.
You using somebody's number to call, or like
no? I never had no credit.
Okay. I'm seeing it.
Number.
Okay, I'm seeing it. 456. Okay, Bill. We
talk what kind of business do you do, Bill? What kind of business do you do?
Oh, I run a mini printing press for now, with vision of expanding Nigeria in the next years to come.
Where is it located?
I have a business in Making Street.
Okay, I'll pay you a visit. I'll pay you a visit, bro. We'll talk here after.
Well, because you see the problem I myself have been. With this field of talking to young people, educating them when it comes to business, because our orientation in Nigeria has been so opaque to the extent that if you even tell your mother, okay, I'm sorry, I've graduated from college, I did accounting, or I did management, or I did biology, but I want to open a business, I want to be an entrepreneur. At the end of the day, I would say, what? You go to school, all the school you won't go to start business? No, 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 no. So, with that mindset, a lot of Liberians have focused on government jobs or other jobs and creating those jobs. Because if you want to work to a bank, it was someone's idea that you're going to work in. So why
Very
would you
good.
build someone's dream without building your own dream? So we need to let Liberians know that you can even have a master, you can even have a bachelor degree, you can even have a doctorate degree and still be an entrepreneur. So we need to
Wow.
educate a lot of people because nowadays we all want to work, we all want to work, and now our economy has been dominated by the Lebanese and the Fula. There are some things in Liberia that you want to buy. Only Fula people you can find it for without Fula people you can get it for any Liberian person. We also want to do
Well,
business. So we don't want to
well,
take
well,
it
like,
back.
like I said,
At the
like
end
I
of the
said,
day, you have to see some money and say yes, we settle. And we say all Liberian are developed. And the government cannot provide jobs for the entire country. Other countries you see developed today is in the private sector. So
Okay.
I would like to visit the shows and one of these days for us to talk to people and educate them more about business.
Okay, man. You said the name
thank you
again?
so much. Thank you so much.
Your scout.
Okay, Bill. Okay, Bill.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. You are the winner. You are the winner today. We'll get the prize to you over your Sendwave here very shortly. Thank you so much for calling in. You were a major contributor today. So that again, this is what we're talking about. Small Liberian businesses, petty Liberian businesses. This is a guy who runs a small printing desktop publishing business on Mecklin Street. He listens to the show. He picks up the phone. He calls. And I mean, I believe he's a first time caller. Okay. And this guy summarizes everything that we've been talking for weeks, for months. I mean, that tells you, and then, the guy, I mean, he hit on all of the right points. He hit on every point that we've been talking over the past weeks and months, Rufus. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it means that we're in the right place. Anybody else want to call in? The I just shared that information about City Trust, and I just went to their website, Rufus, and on the City Trust website, it says there's a loan amount up to 900 USD for it or its equivalent in LD, designed specifically for petty traders within the market. If you go to City Trust website, if you go there, it's written right there. It's written right there. It's written right on the City Trust website. I'm putting it on your WhatsApp. You can share it. You can share their website on their Facebook page, but it's written right there. And it says access quick cash to expand your business and make daily repayments over a period of 30, 45, or 60 days. 900 US dollars. So if you take 900 US dollars, 900 US dollars, and you divide it by let's say 60 days, so that means it's $15 per day. $15 per day. But you know what 900 US dollars can do for your small business in Liberia. And all you have to do, again, set your quota, have a plan, have a strategy that drives your plan, and your repayment is $15 or maybe $20 a day. And everything above that, and within 60 days, you paid off your debt. And you can go back and recharge, get another loan again, and you can grow. City Trust Savings and Loan. This is amazing. Thank you for that contribution. So small Liberian businesses all across the city, City Trust and Loan is the place you want to be. Go to the website, is CITI Trust, TRUST, Liberia.com. It would be good for us, Rufus, if you can reach out to the folks at City Trust and reach out to them, invite them to the show, and let's see how we can get them on the show and talk about, being creative, how we can get Liberian businesses.
Yeah, I would definitely get them.
Please do. I would really like to talk to somebody at City Trust. I mean, because that's the kind of even with them as well. I mean, that whole small Liberian business loan, that's very innovative. That is very, very innovative. That is very, very creative. That is, I mean, this is where this show is all about. Please, I beg you, this week, please go there, meet the guys, talk to the guys. If you want to connect me with them, let's have a discussion. And so they can come on the air, we can schedule them on the show, and they can kind of educate the population. We can advertise they're coming on, weeks in advance, so we can have a lot of listeners on the show, and then they can prepare for what will happen after the show. So many people will be coming over to them. This is very innovative. This is powerful, everyone. For small Liberian businesses, this is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Yeah. I'm on the website here. And it's Mr. F.A. Valentin Emera Emahana. He is the managing director and the CEO. And he's a Nigerian. He's from the University of Benin in Benin City, Edo State. So I think this is innovative. This is very innovative. This is very, very innovative. This is what, this is the way we do it. This is the way we do it. Yes. Let's get them on the show. Let's get them on the show. Let's get them on the show. Yes, let's get them on the show. So again, innovation. Innovation is the way you move forward. So I think that's it for today. I think we did pretty good today. Rufus, we got a lot of callers in and we talked about the thing. And again, thank you to the caller. Yeah, and my parting thing would be, thank you again, Rufus. Thank you for the opportunity to everyone out there who listened. Thank you for sharing the program on your Facebook page. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for contributing. To Mr. Oscar out there, the Pineapple Man, I will be calling you after the show and having a discussion with you. But to the other gentleman who just called in, the guy who with the printing, he's the winner for today. There's no doubt, there's no question that he indeed summarized everything. And for me, that's my upliftment today, that someone called in that really, really did an outstanding job of listening for the first time and just summarizing everything we've been talking about. And again, Rufus, thank you for just bringing up City Trust savings and loan to the show. And let's please this week, let's go over there, meet them, let them know who we are, what we do, business talk, and let's get them on the air. What we'll do, we'll advertise them 1 or 2 weeks ahead of time so they can come on the show. We can ask them the right questions and stuff like that. You, myself, and Ava. If we have to pay for extra time, let's get the extra time so we can actually get a lot of participation. This could be the beginning of something great. So again, thank you to everyone. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. Please be safe out there. Again, you as business people, small business, medium-sized, Liberian business, petty traders, we are the innovators. We are the true power and the foundation of the Liberian economy. We contribute the most. We do more transactions, and let us work together. Let us stay together. Let us communicate together, and let us be progressive for our nation, for our country. And let's think great thoughts about the Republic of Liberia. Have a great weekend. Be safe. I love you. Till next time. Good night.
He's Mr. Alkin Al Phillips, co-pilot here on the program, Business Talk. Indeed, our other co-pilot couldn't be with us due to some tight engagement. He's right now in Africa, in Tanzania, attending a wedding, Mr. Alva Toba. I'm here. My name is Rufus Devon Cannon. Do join us, God willing, next Saturday, 2 to 3:30, when we'll be around here, giving you the knowledge that is required to expand your business and give you that desired results. Like I always say, there are two things in this life you always be remembered for: the problems you create and the problems you solve. And we must take responsibility of two things in our lives: our fortune and that of our misfortune. In Union's Consult says the show, we've got above our rights to prove. We over or prevail. With hearts and hands, our country cause defending. We meet the foe with valor unpretending. Remember, business talk is non-political. This is your one-stop shop. Join us and we can transform Liberia for the better. Bye-bye.
Business Talk. In 1 hour 30 minutes, we provide listeners with up-to-date information and insights into various aspects of business and finance.